Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jim Mint Jesse, and in today's video, we're going to open the last box from a vending case of 1990 Topps. So I've got the three main targets for the set out here in front of us. Topps rookie cards for Ken Griffey Jr. In PSA 10, this card goes for about $125 or so right now. He had an 89 Fleer and an 89 Donruss rookie, but he did not have a Topps card except for 89 Topps traded. So this is his Topps rookie card. Frank Thomas, Hall of Famer, White Sox. This is his Topps rookie card. Seems to be more prevalent. This card only goes for about $50 in PSA 10. And then recent Hall of Fame inductee Larry Walker, his card in gem mint condition is going for right around $100 right now. So those are the main three cards that we're looking for in this vending box. And I'm sure everyone's familiar. If you're not, this is a vending box. And maybe not everybody has opened a vending case before, but these Topps has sold vending boxes since like the 1950s. Frankly, they used to have vending machines that actually you could pull cards out of and everything from that perspective. And it's still a prevalent way to buy decent quantities of cards. They aren't as common today. Once we got into the mid-90s and the card stock improved, these vending boxes kind of went away. But vending boxes are sold actually in 24 count cases. Okay, so one vending case, which is what I've opened, 23 of the 24 boxes, this is the last one left, is 12,000 cards. Now, it's 1990 Topps. This is not a big dollar investment in any way. But since we're all stuck at home, I thought this would be fun to open. Going through 12,000 cards. It's taken me some time, a few days. And this is the last one that's left. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of go through this together, see what's in there, talk a little bit about some of the key cards from the set, see what we can pull. And then we'll take a look at everything I pulled in total for the vending case and see how we did. All right? So let's take a look. So you can see there's the vending case. Now, these are never easy to get cards out of, and I'm not overly concerned about these, but we're just going to pull them from the middle and see how we do here. Upside down. All right. We'll flip through these pretty quickly. So there's a Nolan Ryan. For the most part, I didn't pull these out as I went through the case. Nolan Ryan had a little bit of a tribute set at the beginning of the 1990 series. Card number 1 is his base card. We'll see that here in a minute because I've pulled those out. But I think there's like cards 2 through 7, I believe, are all various Nolan Ryans. This one is a tribute to his 5,000 strikeout. So kind of neat. But I'm letting those go through here. Eckersley. The straw that stirs the drink, Darryl Strawberry. You can see there's another Nolan Ryan. So these are all in tribute to the 5,000 strikeouts. You can see this was his time with the Angels. So that first one was his time on the Rangers. Also new Hall of Fame inductee, Harold Baines. So the key cards that I pulled out when going through the entire case, I pulled out 7 main cards. I pulled out every copy, and then obviously if I saw a Hall of Famer and it looked like possibly a gem mint card, I pulled it to the side just to look at later, and we'll see a few of those. All-star rookie Carlos Martinez didn't turn out too far. Number one of the top draft picks, Donald Harris. So not much in that first. Oh, Bo Jackson. That's one of the cards I pulled out, and we'll talk about him some more, particularly as this video goes. But I actually love that picture, right as he's made contact. Greatest athlete of my lifetime, in my opinion. So we'll talk more about him, but put that to the side. Grab some more. Let's see what we got here. Dave Winfield, late in his career. You'll see a few cards like that. Steve Carter, I hesitate when I first see it because it looks a little bit like the Bonds on the same team. Crime Dog, Carlton Fisk All-Star. Jeff Russell All-Star. Actually don't remember him being an All-Star. Whitey, as a lifelong Cardinals fan, gotta love some Whitey. Pendleton. Not much in that group. Next set. Kenny Rogers. Mikey Nuff Aldretti. Chris Berman. Nickname for him back in the day. There's another one of those Nolan Ryans. Astros. So there are 500 cards in this box. Nearly, there's the Bonds. I'll pull him out. I didn't save him for the most part. A lot of these tough centering, unruly flimsy card stock. So clearly not a 10, but for interest, we'll pull him out. I actually find this Vince Coleman record break pretty interesting. He stole 50 bases in a row. All right, if you look at his card, first 3 years, he stole over 100 bases a season. And then he got his leg run over by the turf during a rain delay. The Tart machine in St. Louis. Missed time, was never quite the same afterwards. Fastest player that I watched growing up in St. Louis. Loved me some Vince Coleman. But ironic injury. I was actually at the game that day when that happened. At least my recollection is when I was probably young enough that I think I was there. Maybe I wasn't, but I believe I was. Prime time, Deion Sanders, better known for his football days, but I did pull out a few prime times. That's his baseball rookie there. Cal Ripken All-Star. Delino DeShields. Danny Tartable. Such a unique, many of the different designs of the 80s and 90s, Topps has copied back in a later year, whether it be some kind of, from their heritage concepts. So there's the Larry Walker. Fortunately off center, a little left to right, but good card nonetheless. New Hall of Fame member. They have not, maybe not ironically, they have not copied the 90 Topps design. Either love it or hate it. I don't particularly care for it myself, but that's okay. Saberhagen, All-Star. Rhino. Biggio, All-Star. Still a catcher at this point. Had not moved to second base by this time. Now, that's a good sign. Okay, this Guerin Topps All-Star team, rookie All-Star team, is typically followed pretty closely. I've done enough of these by the Frank Thomas and the Ken Griffey, so hopefully we're in the right run. There's the Frank Thomas. Big hurt. And hopefully Griffey coming up right there. Boom. Followed by the Worthington. So that run seems to be fairly consistent. Unfortunately, I don't think any of those are perfectly centered, but still, I'm glad that we could get all three of the big cards for you in this box, and we've still got half the box to go. Now, you do get some duplication later in a vending box, not always. Like I said, you get 500 out of the roughly 800 card set, so you get about 63% of the set. I did not have any major boxes with more than, I had a box with 2 Frank Thomases, that was the best we did, and one with 2 Griffeys, and several with 0. There's card 1, right? Nolan Ryan. Look at that card. Longevity and talent. Pretty amazing. So pull him to the side. So the big cards that might still be out there, we've gotten the 3 big ones. We've gotten the Bo Jackson, Nolan Ryan. The only other 2 cards that I've been pulling out along the way have been the Bernie Williams rookie and the Sammy Sosa rookie, which at one time was a much bigger card than it is today. Obviously, the Cubs still haven't even acknowledged him anymore. But kind of a shame, actually, given the era. But, that was some of my prime baseball watching years. And I don't even remember Tom Herr on the Phillies. Longtime Cardinal. He's got a Twins card, too. I saw an 89 down. I don't remember any of that. Just like I don't remember, you know. It's funny to go back and see some of these cards. You see guys on teams, you just don't remember them spending their career in, right? So, Todd Zeal. I don't know, funny story, maybe not. But I was working in a baseball card shop probably at this time. Maybe not. I was probably not quite. I was born in 74, so, you know, I was like 16 at this age. A couple years after this, I was working on a card shop in St. Louis, and just for giggles one day, convinced some kids that I was actually Todd Zeal, and had some fun giving away free autographs for Todd Zeal. Probably not as accepted today, but it was funny. Their dad knew I was joking. They thought it was cool. They thought they were hanging out with Todd Zeal. I didn't actually think I looked like him that much either, which was the strangest thing. I don't know. But if there's a lineup, could you identify Todd Zeal? Probably not. All right. Sammy Sosa. So, short of the Bernie Williams, and I don't think in any of the boxes that I open, I hit all 7 of the cards that I'm pulling. Consistently. We'll see. It'll be fun to hit all 7 here for you. Jack Clark. Jack the Ripper. You know, it's interesting. I mentioned that there's Tyler Houston, #1 draft pick, that Bo Jackson, you know, was the best athlete of my lifetime. And, you know, his rookie was 87. This was kind of the height of Bo Jackson mania. We were first getting to really see the incredible athleticism he was showing both in baseball and football, and just doing things we hadn't seen before. We'll see if we get a couple of cards, but I pulled aside a couple of the other #1 draft picks where people were looking for that exact Bo Jackson mold in the draft. They were getting 2 sport athletes that played football. I think the Cardinals draft pick that year, the Cubs #1 draft pick, were quintessential, you know, trying to find the next Bo Jackson. And that, you know, how those things go in cycles. And who could blame him? Bo was amazing. It's a shame he got hurt. Like I said, easily the best athlete that I know, that I got to watch. You know, Herschel Walker's probably not that far behind. That could just do anything. And that's probably a slight to the basketball guys who, you know, if you've ever sat on the floor at a basketball game, they do things athletically that don't seem human. But to be able to have the speed and the power that both those two guys had, in my mind, that was unparalleled at the time. Tony Gwynn, rest in peace, all-star. Ken Griffey, and the set has both he and his son, Ken Griffey Jr. Kind of fun that they're both in there. There's Cal Ripken. We'll pull him out. I pulled a couple of him out. The centering wasn't great throughout the case on him, so I left the center. There's a record breaker for Cal. 20 homers in 8 straight seasons. Pretty cool. Wade Boggs all-star. Jerome Walton. Boy, everyone was high on him. Didn't happen. Walt Weiss, Chet Lemon. Mark Davis, once again, another person I don't remember as an all-star. Ricky Henderson, record breaker. So, 40th, I believe, leadoff home run. Kyle Abbott. Eddie Murray, Dodgers. He did play for the Dodgers. I didn't even remember that. Ozzie Guillen when he was still playing. Jose. Can you see? All right, we got probably one more set of cards here. Looks like there was one left over here. But for a vending box, you can see most of these cards, take a look at the corners. You know, pretty good shape. And the case ran pretty well. I haven't had it. I bought it just for this time at home. Thought it'd be fun to do and see what I get and hunt a few Griffey and Frank Thomas rookies. You know, it's fun for me. All in all, I'm pleased. We'll take a look at the whole case here in just a second. There's Tony. All right, Earl Cunningham. He's one of the guys I was thinking about. I think Paul Coleman might be the other one. I don't know if we can see here, get focused enough to see, but it talks about he had 34 home runs in Lancaster High School. It talks about his 500-foot home run. He was South Carolina Player of the Year, Mr. Baseball. He also played football. Big guy, 6'2", 235. And you're going to see Paul Coleman, if we get his card, much the same. And in my mind, they were trying to recreate Bo Jackson, hoping to get another, transcendent athlete. There are no two Bo Jacksons, as we all know. Ricky's base. Oral. There really are some great players in this set when you get right down to it. And we saw most of them here in this 500 card. 500 card vending box. ED, Eric Davis. What a talent when he first came up. Wow. Future star, Mark Gardner. Unfortunately, was not a star. Ron Oster. Odubie McDowell. Many of you may know, many of you may not. Odubie was on the same, he's in the 85 Olympic set, much like Mark McGuire. And when Odubie McDowell came out, I think it was out of Arizona State, he was considered the thing. He could do everything in college. If you see some baseball writers talk about the best college player they ever saw, Odubie McDowell makes a lot of those lists. Didn't work out quite that well in the major leagues, but unbelievable talent. Mike Davis, Jim Eisenreich. And that looks Danny Jackson. That's going to be it. So that's our 500 card vending box, the last box of the case here. Let's go back over what we just pulled out here in just a second. Let me clean this up here for a second to the side. Sorry about that. You can take a look at the cal here. And we'll put each one of these in a protective card saver one. So we got the Cal Ripken. And for these old cards, I actually don't sleeve them first. I know that's a little bit blasphemous to some people. Part of that's because I send so many cards into PSA. Sammy Sosa rookie. Nolan. Then I think I ding more cards getting them in the plastic sleeves than I do ever putting them in the card saver one. So probably our best hit right there, Ken Griffey Jr. Looking good. Like I said, centering's off left to right, but still pleased to grab another one. Frank looks off in both directions, unfortunately. But not bad. Once again, same kind of football, baseball star. A lot of people think Frank could have had a career in the NFL. Closer centering on the Larry Walker. Got three more here real quick. Primetime rookie from the baseball side. Just like having some Jordan baseball cards I think are kind of fun. Having a primetime baseball card is a positive. Barry Bonds in his smaller days. Still arguably the best player in the game, but not nearly as big at that point. And the man I was talking about, Bo Jackson. All right. So I mentioned vending case, 12,000 cards. So the goal would be, roughly an 800 card set. You'd get 15 of each person. Let's see how we did. This is the rest. These are my, what I got for the full vending case. So Bo Jackson's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 14 Bo Jacksons. Let me go to Larry Walker. Make sure I grabbed the one I had out at the beginning. You can see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got 14 Larry Walkers. Frank. Not as many, I don't think. It's only 12 Franks. And one of those had a very bad, was bent up pretty well. So 11 viable Franks, if you will. I missed one. So 13, forgive me. And let's add in the Griffies we just grabbed. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. So 13 Franks, 13 Griffies, 14 Larry Walkers, and 14 Bo Jacksons. Nolan Ryan. 13. Looks like we got 13 or 14 of just about everybody. Sammy Sosa. 14 Sammy Sosa's. Then the only person that I pulled out that we didn't get in that last box was Bernie Williams. A lot of Yankees folks out there. It's his rookie. And I got 16 of him, so he's the one I got overweight on. But all in all, a successful vending case opening. So if you're bored, feel free to buy some cheap vending and crack it open. Now the challenge is to figure out what to do with about 11,900 comments from 1990 that I'll never sort through. But thanks for watching, and look forward to having more videos. Give me a like and subscribe if you're inclined. Have a good day.